This episode is brought to you by Bleacher Report. How do you follow sports? From college football to the NBA, Bleacher Report brings you the latest news, live scores, and epic highlights from your favorite leagues, teams, and athletes, all in one app. Dive into exclusive shows hosted by your favorite athletes and original Bleacher Report series with breaking news, rumors, and predictions all season long. Download Bleacher Report to personalize your coverage.
I've got a lot of grandbabies, like a lot. And when it comes to finding a gift for each of them, it could add up. But this year, while I was making my way through Walmart, I realized I don't have to spend a lot to get the gifts they'll love.
An OPI mini mani set. I'm gonna do so much nail art.
Oh, yeah! A Lego set! Might own a Walla water bottle!
Ooh, and that's just half of them.
Shop great gifts they're sure to love for $25 and under at Walmart.
Did you know Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company? They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just quarterback Peyton Manning, I'm also meditating Manning. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
The sounds of the season can often sound like this.
So, when are we getting some grandkids?
But with Hilton's Season to Stay sale, they could sound a bit more like this. Or this. Stay and save up to 20% off when you book before January 5th at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay. Minimum 2-night stay required. Excludes luxury and all-inclusive properties. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is, covering news, notes, and opinions of your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles, right here on the Eagles Pinpoint Podcast Network. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me every social media platform at BeardAKnowledge. That's the Twitter, Instagram, TikTok handle. And, of course, hosting Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network every morning at 8 a.m., 90 minutes of Philadelphia sports talk, linked in the description of this video or audio recording, guys. So check it out. Guys, it's Tuesday. It's Christmas Eve, and all the talk in Philadelphia will be around the Philadelphia Eagles this week as we get set to take on the Cowboys. But first and foremost, we've got to talk about a few things that happened on Sunday in their defeat to the Washington Commanders. First and foremost, obviously, Jalen Hurts' injury, his concussion. Nick Sirianni spoke on Monday, as he always does, the day after presser, and he did, say that Jalen Hurts is in the concussion protocol, excuse me, which means it's up to the doctors, and they are going to do what they can, to just listen to the doctors and keep updated as it goes. He did say that, despite some people and some teams and some coaches, if you don't practice all week, you don't really get a chance to play. He did not rule out the fact that if Hurts clears concussion protocol, that he would or would not play on Sunday. There is that chance in a game that we would really like to see the Eagles win on Sunday. Due to the fact that they win on Sunday, they lock up that 2 seed in the division. Then the following week against the Giants, they can rest all their starters and get everybody healthy. Side note, the Eagles game on Sunday was, I guess the word is deflexed from the 4:25 game of the week back to 1 p.m. So anybody that has tickets to the Eagles game or making plans for the Sunday Eagles game against the Cowboys in South Philly, it is now a 1 p.m. game. The Cowboys are eliminated. Jalen Hurts might not play. Easy move for the NFL to move that out of that prime 4:25 game of the week slot. Nick Sirianni did say that Kenny Pickett, he did have rib injuries, but he was evaluated. Seems like he might be okay. Tanner McKee, he did say in his press conference, they have confidence in him if he needs to go on Sunday. We do not hear or know anything about any other quarterbacks that might get brought in this week. Seems like the Eagles are just going to roll with Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee, but we'll know more on Tuesday, Wednesday. He did mention that there's going to be a really weird practice schedule this week with the holiday, but he didn't go into details about that. So we'll see on Tuesday what the Eagles have to say. My guess is there won't be much Tuesday or Wednesday from the Eagles, and Thursday and Friday is when they will just do their practices this week. We got to move to the other side of the ball in the Eagles defense, because while everyone wants to complain about Kenny Pickett, I think Kenny Pickett did exactly what he needed to do on Sunday. He did exactly what any backup quarterback is expected to do, give the team a chance to win. And that's what he did, despite the fact that, he did not look great at times. I mean, he made plays. He did what he had to do. His timing wasn't there with the wide receivers that he doesn't practice with on a regular basis. That's what you expect from a backup quarterback. And I don't think there's many backup quarterbacks that could do much more than what Kenny Pickett did on Sunday. Now, can Kenny Pickett with a full week of practice beat the Cowboys next week? Sure. But no, if the defense puts out a performance like they did in the third and fourth quarter against the Washington Commanders. And it all goes down to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and his ejection. And I'm still not over the fact, first, that he got a personal foul call on him for being punched in the face, and then another personal foul for basically trash talking and ejected from the game. Listen to these stats about the Eagles defense. In the first 9 possessions of the game, the Washington Commanders offense, this is when Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was still playing defense for the Eagles. First 9 possessions, they put up 14 points, 194 yards, and committed 4 turnovers. After Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got ejected, the Commanders had 4 possessions. They put up 21 points and 210 yards. They did have another turnover in that span. That is just a massive difference. And I've been harsh on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson throughout his tenure, the first time and this time in Philadelphia. Just goes to show, though, how important he is to the swagger of this Eagles defense. And there's an argument going on, or a discussion going on Eagles Twitter and Eagles social media and the media itself. How much blame does Chauncey Gardner-Johnson deserve for getting ejected? And I think it's an interesting question because he was egregiously ejected from the game. The penalties and the fouls, I mean, they weren't warranted at all. They were terrible. The refs screwed that up big time. But when you get that one personal foul and another one leads to an automatic ejection, does Chauncey Gardner-Johnson got to tame down his personality a little bit? You don't want him to lose his swagger and his hitting and all that stuff. But he's got to learn and be smarter and not put himself in a position to get ejected in that situation, whether it was right or wrong. And Nick Sirianni said he didn't get any explanation on it from anybody, but he also doesn't like to talk about that kind of stuff. I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he's to blame a little bit. Not a lot. The refs are to blame. But he does need to mature a little bit. If he wants to be a leader, if he wants to be a captain someday on this team, he's got to learn when to throttle it down. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Jalen Carter alike have these very, very fiery personalities, and they've got to do a little bit better of not letting those personalities affect the game with penalties and stuff like that, and in this case, an ejection. So it's something to keep an eye on. It's something to think about. He's not to blame directly, but indirectly he might be able to blame. Nick Sirianni made sure to talk about so many different things that contributed to the loss and wins. It's not just one player. You can't blame Kenny Pickett. You can't blame the injury to Jalen Hurts. Basically, it's a little bit of everything. The details, the tackling, it was a sloppy game, 4 field goals instead of any touchdowns at stretches, kickoff coverage, missed tackles, penalties. So many different things caused the Eagles to lose, and they had a letdown. I joked on social media and on my morning show that Vic Fangio ain't going to be happy about the way the defense performed. I mean, 13 missed tackles. We haven't seen that kind of poor tackling since Tampa in week 4. 4 of those missed tackles came from Jalen Carter, who was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion. So the details. Vic Fangio's probably got them running wind sprints on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. Christmas is canceled in Scrooge Vic Fangio's house because of the way the defense played. So with that being said, the details have to be worked on. But there's no one person you could put the blame on in that scenario. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas season. So let's all be fun. Let's all enjoy it. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. This is the Eagles Checkdown. There won't be a show on Christmas morning for you guys. Sorry. I'm sure you'll be busy opening presents from Santa and enjoying it with your families, as I will be as well. But we will be back on Thursday, and we'll continue to dive into this stuff, and we'll have 2 days worth of information from the Eagles to really get into it. So with that being said, we're going to end this right here tonight with the simple, instead of the 2 things we always say at the end of a show, go Birds, bubbles up, and we'll end it like this. Mele Kaliki Maka. That's the Hawaiian way to say Merry Christmas.
The sounds of the season can often sound like this.
So, when are we getting some grandkids?
But with Hilton's Season to Stay sale, they could sound a bit more like this. Or this. Stay and save up to 20% off when you book before January 5th at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay. Minimum 2-night stay required. Excludes luxury and all-inclusive properties. Terms and conditions apply.
The holidays aren't about where you're going. They're about the moments you share along the way. Experience the joy of connection at the Lincoln Wish List sales event. Right now, visit your local Lincoln retailer or Lincoln.com to find exclusive holiday offers on current and past Lincoln models. Let's make more connections and more joy this season.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the new generative AI assistant from AWS. Many tasks can make business slow, like wading through mud.
Help!
Luckily, there's a faster, easier, less messy choice. Amazon Q can securely understand your business data to help you streamline tasks, like summarizing quarterly results or doing complex analyses in no time. Q got this. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
Hey, it's Austin James. Yes, I'm living with diabetes, but it doesn't have to define me. Thanks to the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor, I get real-time glucose readings throughout the day. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor is small and easy to wear, giving me the freedom to focus on my life as a parent and a musician. Now this is progress. You can get a free sensor at freestylelibre.us.
Offer available for people who qualify. Visit myfreestyle.us to see all terms and conditions. Certain exclusions apply. Data on file, Abbott Diabetes Care. Per prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.